In a small coastal town called Black River, where the waves crashed endlessly against the rocks, there were terrible legends of sea monsters. Every night as the wind howled and the moon hid behind the clouds, the old men gathered around the fire and whispered stories that made even the bravest men shudder. One day, a young woman named Laura decided that these stories were just fiction. She was sure there were no monsters in the ocean. Since she was a child, she had listened to stories about the Kraken, a giant octopus that pulled ships underwater, and Leviathan, a horrible sea snake-like creature that stole in from the depths. But Laura didn't believe a word of it. She decided to go on a night voyage in her little boat to prove to everyone that these were just myths. Gathering her thoughts, Laura took to the water as the sun disappeared over the horizon. The water was calm, and she felt safe. But soon the sky clouded over and the wind began to howl harder. Laura tried to turn back, but the wind was too strong. Suddenly she heard a terrible noise, as if something huge and angry was rising from the depths of the sea. Before Laura realized what was happening, her boat began to shake. From somewhere in the darkness, giant tentacles appeared and wrapped around the boat. Laura screamed in terror as one of the tentacles pulled her out of the boat and into the abyss. She felt the cold water slamming into her, and flashes of light flashed before her eyes as she sank deeper and deeper. Amid the bubbles and murky water, Laura saw something terrible. A huge creature with many eyes and a mouth open. It slowly approached her, and at that moment it became clear to her that the legends were true. She was on the verge of death when suddenly, a memory of the old legends flashed through her mind. To save herself, she had to cast the spell her grandmother had once taught her. Gathering all her will, Laura shouted the words of the spell, and to her surprise, the creature stopped. Its eyes froze, as if it was trying to figure out what was going on. Laura realized that this might be her only chance. She continued to cast the spell, and at that moment the creature began to back away slowly, as if realizing that it could not hurt her. Finally, Laura made it to the surface. She was exhausted, but alive. The wind had died down and the sky had cleared. When she reached the shore, she was greeted by the anxious residents of Black River. Laura told her story, and they realized that the legends they thought were fiction were actually a warning. From then on, Laura became the keeper of these stories. She always reminded the residents that the ocean hides secrets that are best left untouched. Legends of sea monsters were no longer just scary tales. They became warnings that not everything hidden in the depths could be understood and controlled.